Welcome to What in the Shibal with Susie and Ed.
We're just two Asian Americans talking shit about shit.
Trying to in this heat.
Holy shit. Hi, Ed.
So hot. Hi.
It's so hot.
Yeah.
Heat and wave. That's the end of our podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. I have to go because I wore very thick pants and that was a mistake.
Melting.
In case you don't know, we filmed this in the valley where it is currently 105 degrees right now.
Inside, it's like 120.
Yeah. We're also on the second level of a building, and it's very hot. It's just hot, but it's fine. It's fine. How was your week, Ed?
It was good.
Great.
My mom's in town.
Yes.
And there's just a little bit of adjustment, mostly for my back, because I gave my mom my room, my bed.
Oh.
So like I'm sleeping on this fold-up mattress that goes on the ground. And it's a really nice fold-up mattress. But I have a herniated disc and it's taking me a little bit to adjust.
I don't know that that's something you can adjust to with a herniated back. I don't think the herniated back is like, I see what we're doing.
No, it's not herniated now, but like my body's taking a while to adjust. Like I've been waking up really stiff and having to like stretch.
I feel like I have an air mattress at my house. Do you need one?
Oh no, I think that'd be worse.
Maybe double step? We'll talk about this later.
Yeah, but either way, I've been adjusting to that.
Yeah.
My mom, we have a complicated relationship, I think is the right word.
We are aware, yeah.
I love her. I owe everything to her. I appreciate everything she did, but she just triggers me so much. And like, my mom does this thing where she likes to pretend like she knows everything, even when she doesn't. And even as you're explaining something that she doesn't understand, she'll like start talking over you. And like, she goes like, I know. And you're like, you don't know. Please don't do this.
Right.
It's just.
What do you think is the reason she does that? Or like, why do you feel like she feels the need to do that? Or to admit that she doesn't?
I think it's like a really long, complicated history.
Yeah.
And I think it starts with the fact that I think it has to do with like her childhood, some of the abuse she had. I think a lot of it has to do, short story. She had polio when she was like 5 or 6, and her right arm doesn't have as much strength as her left arm. Even when you compare it to the left,
so it's not like fully functional.
It's like a lot skinnier and stuff. And like, I think it is functional, but I think a lot of it is psychological for her because growing up at that time in like the 50s in Korea, like that was very, you know what I mean? It was like, oh, for sure. There was a huge stigma. So I think she always had this like complex, like she's never driven because of it.
So she feels like she has something to prove constantly.
Yeah. So I think there's like some little like insecurity thing and she's just always, I don't know what it is, but I think that's what it stems from,
without psychoanalyzing her, but that could definitely
have some.
It would make sense.
Yes. So either way, and she was like really smart when she was younger. She was like top of her class and like got a full ride to a college and like all this stuff, So I think there's just some overlying like need to
overcompensate.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've experienced that myself, I'm sure.
But it's very triggering because my mom always tells me like, whenever I ask her stuff, ever since I was a child till now, she'll be like, even if I explained it to you, you wouldn't understand. I'm like, I'm almost 40 years old. I'm not an idiot. In fact, I have a really, you know what I mean? Like
my brain works pretty good.
Yeah.
I could try.
Doctors say I'm smart. So I must be smart.
That's got to be very triggering to be like, I can absorb this information. I can process the information. Maybe if you just tried, you could tell me.
Like for instance, the one thing is like for years now, I've been trying to explain to her the difference between Wi-Fi and cellular service, but she like doesn't
explain it to me.
Fully understand what it means. And we'll be out and she'll be like, oh, it's not connected to Wi-Fi. I'm like, there's no Wi-Fi out here. We're like, I don't understand what's that. And she'll be like, oh, and I know. And I'm like, you don't. No, please stop. Please stop.
It's hard to just be like, okay, and then just like walk away. That's something that I try to do with people that I know put me in that circumstance or like make me feel that triggered moment where I'm like, oh my God, it's happening. I'm like, okay. Yeah. Anyway, you know what I mean? I just like divert because I'm like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. So I'm like trying to learn because I'm like, you're older now, your mom's older now. Like you have to get this shit under control.
And really, what purpose would it serve to argue with her about that anyway?
Clearly, and it's like, it's going to keep happening. So I have to learn to like really not get triggered by it, which is hard. It's really hard.
It's very difficult.
But like, as we always say, I think I just have to learn to like give my mom a little bit of grace and just be like, look, she just doesn't understand. She's older, whatever.
Yeah.
But how was your week?
Great. The usual busy schedule. Like my schedule is packed, but I'm very excited. My older sister is coming into town today with my niece and my nephew, who I love and adore so much.
And you guys are all going to a hip hop class?
No. Okay. I'm just trying to practice my street style. Okay. No, I actually just bought these shoes and I really like them. And I just really like these pants. I was like, I'll just wear them together.
No, it's a really nice outfit. I'm just busting your chops.
And you know what? When one day I come out somewhere and show you my best hip hop routine, you can be like, damn, I didn't know.
Should we take a hip hop class together?
Yes. I grew up during the Fly Girl era. All I ever wanted was to be Rosie Perez and Jennifer Lopez and dance on In Living Color. That's all I wanted. I'm living that. I'm fulfilling that now.
I grew up with my young adult life during Peaches and Cream. So that's pretty much sums up my dance style.
What is Peaches and Cream?
You don't remember that song? Peaches and Cream?
Oh. I was like, is there like a dance troupe? You mean the song?
Yeah, like
yeah.
I grew up in the era of the nasty songs. Listen, my dance style is just nasty.
Sorry, it's so hot.
So hot in here. Jesus Christ.
Anyway, my niece and my nephew are coming into town and my dad's birthday's coming up. And so they're here for, their visit, their summer visit. So I'm really, really excited. I mean,
oh my God.
My niece is exactly 30 years younger than I am. And so she turns 18 this year. And like, I can't believe it. Like I flew in. So she was born in Miami during Hurricane Katrina.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I was flying in to help my sister as everybody was like trying to evacuate. I was like, oh my God, I was like literally flying into a hurricane for this baby.
They were living in Miami at the time?
Yeah, she was a professor at the University of Miami.
Talk about hot.
I mean, okay, I don't know how many of you have ever experienced a hurricane or gone somewhere where there has been recently a hurricane. I got off the plane and was like, instantly, my hair, in case you don't know, my hair is curly like this. My hair was like, so yeah, it was so humid and it was so
just
hot.
Shrunk.
And then I'm trying to help my sister take care of her baby, but there's like downed power lines and like palm trees, like levels. I was like, this is so fucking crazy.
Did she deliver in the house?
No, she was at the hospital, but she had to do a C-section.
Oh my gosh.
And the electricity was coming in and out like during her C-section. And I was just like, it was.
But I thought they have generators at hospitals for that. Okay.
They did, but there was still.
So the electricity was going in and out, but hopefully not in the surgery room. Okay,
no. Yeah. But just the idea of knowing that these things had the potential was, I'm sure.
Spoiler alert, everyone was okay.
Spoiler alert, she's gorgeous, 18-year-old woman now, and she's incredible and amazing, and she's scored perfect on all of her fucking AP tests. Like, she is my sister's daughter. She's so smart. She's gorgeous. And I'm so excited to see her. My nephew is amazing, and he's like 16. He's like a man now. Time is tripping me out. So I'm very excited. I love my family so much.
Yeah. I just realized as you said that my birthday is in less than a week.
Woo! The big 4-0?
Yeah, I don't.
You old bitch.
Want to turn anything anymore.
I mean, it's fine. You'll see. Your 40s are the best. I will tell you. I mean, if my 50s are anywhere near as good as my 40s have been, I'm great. I won't. You really trust me. People trip out. Like everybody's doing that like old filter on TikTok.
Me. It was so rude. It was so rude.
First of all, the thing I think everybody's tripping out about is like, it's a very stark contrast from you now, obviously, to then, but it's very, in real life, it's very gradual and like you see those things happening. So like those effects I already see like happening on myself. And I'm like, I get it. And people be like, oh my God, I'm so freaked out. I look so dumb. I'm like, okay, but there are some of us that are starting to look like that. So can you guys shut the fuck up and
you're
stop?
Not.
No, but still, like, like, can you guys like not make aging feel so like horribly terrible? And it's not that big of a deal. It's fantastic.
It's not, but it was just like rude in the fact that like some people, it didn't age as much.
It's the blue light. Somebody said it. They debunked what the thing was. So if you're if you're in like blue light, it doesn't affect the filter as much, so you don't see it as deeply. But if you're a natural light or like white lights or like LED lights, you see it so much more.
Yeah, because I did it because John Kung did it.
Oh yeah,
the cook, chef, yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, looks great. You know what I mean? I was like, you son of a bitch, and I did it. And I was like,
oh no. Hello?
I was like, you made me like 90 years old, you son of a bitch. I was like, you made him like 50 and you made me 90.
But, getting older is not that bad. It's actually really cool.
Well, you know what it is for me is that like, I don't feel like I'm ready to be in my 40s with where my life stage is at.
Were you
right
ever
now.
ready to be in anything? Like,
wow, burn.
Not you, everyone.
No, I know, but no.
Marriage, parenthood, a new job. There's so many things. Everything always feels like, oh my God, am I ready to do this?
It's true.
Imposter syndrome or feeling inadequate or insecure or what. When I was first pregnant, I was like, I can't be a mom. I'm a great mom.
Yeah,
you
are.
Kidding me? Like, of course I am. Or like when I first opened any of these businesses, I'm a fraud. I don't know anything. Of course I know things. I know so much, but you just second guess yourself. Your 40s, or you'll see. Your 40s are going to be so fucking fun because you really know who you are once you reach 40.
It's true.
Then you don't give a fuck. And when we say that, we don't say that like we just are saying like you don't give a fuck what other people think about who you know you are.
But I think part of that comes from maybe also being a parent. And I just feel like I'm at a life stage where I should be entering my 30s instead of my 40s. No. And I get it. That's all psychological, societal
You're
things.
Entering into it how you should be entering into it if you are to enter into it at all.
But it's just funny because like 12-year-old Ed thought that he was going to have children by 25.
That's insane.
That is, I mean, it is insane.
Obviously, for those of you who have children that are 25, good for you because you obviously are more mature than I was at 25.
You're going to be so young when your children are grown.
I know.
So jealous.
You'll be my age when they're your age. Like, you know what I mean? They're like off living their life. I mean, obviously, like, yes, there are things as an older parent I didn't think about, being almost 50 and having to like drive to like carpool and back and forth. But, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You make it work. And it's
like if I have a child now, I may or may not be able to be at their wedding. You know what I mean?
Well,
that's sad for them.
Science is,
it's true.
Know.
Yeah.
You never know.
There could be ahead of me at their wedding. You're right.
Well,
like a la Futurama. Speaking of filters though, did you see that one filter that tells you what shape eyes you have?
I don't need to know that filter. I have eyeball shape eyes. What?
The one option is small almond eye. And I don't think it's technically offensive. You know what I mean?
It still triggers me.
It is a little triggering. You know what I mean? It's like we couldn't pick another shape than something that's slightly stigmatized towards people.
Already, yeah.
Yeah.
Does the term almond eye offend you?
That's what I mean. It doesn't offend me.
Right.
But it kind of makes me go, what'd you say? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
why are you talking about it? Or yeah,
why is it almond shaped?
Right. I don't know, man. Those filters. I don't think those filters are meant to propel humanity into a good direction.
No.
I just like doing the ones where like you have like celebrity dinners or like a celebrity wedding. Those are fun because celebrities aren't real people.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, but people are getting them mixed up with all the other actors during this writers and acting strike.
Yeah, that's been crazy.
Yeah, people are like, so we just want to make millionaires more rich. And I'm like, they're not all millionaires. Maybe like the Brad Pitts and Angelina Jolie's of the world. Sure.
What percentage of actors are those actors?
I think it's something like small. 2 to 3%.
Probably not even.
Yeah.
Not even. If you think about like all the actors that are like, what do you call those?
Like there's extras. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's like all the people who just never get leading roles that are in a lot of supporting roles.
Of course. There's so much media, especially now too. What would I say? Like that girl who's on like 40 episodes of Orange is the New Black, like her residual checks total like 27
cents. No, it was like cents. I think. Yeah, it was cents.
Crazy.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'd be pissed too. But then again.
Well, it's just crazy because it's wild to me because who was it? The president of Disney, Bob Iger.
Oh my God.
Said something about like,
dick.
Yeah, he said like, yes, he's great for driving money into Disney, but like he also stated at like a billionaire's retreat that
it was very Marie Antoinette. It was very much like, let them eat cake.
Yeah.
The people don't have bread. Let them eat cake. Like, wow, you're so fucking out of touch. You have no fucking idea what people are going through.
Like, who was that person who was like, what do bananas cost? Like $29 or something? And you're like, I'm sorry, what did you just say? You think bananas cost $29? Go to a grocery store.
Well, unless you're shopping at Erewhon. But that's where all the celebrities shop anyway. So again.
And it makes sense.
They are very out of touch.
Yeah.
I think, and I think that's the thing is people have such a skewed idea of what so many industries really are. And they think if you're on a TV show, you're automatically a millionaire and you're automatically famous. And you automatically, so many actors can't even don't even qualify for health insurance.
No.
And these are actors that people know and love.
Like they're working actors who get dropped from their health insurance because they're not making enough to cover it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, that's wild.
Oh, this world.
All the while, the Hedwigs are taking like hundreds of millions of dollars.
Just so
like, why do you even need that?
I know.
It literally is fuck you money because they're like, I don't need it. I'm just saying fuck you.
I just don't want you to
you
have
don't
it.
have it. Right.
I don't need it. What you couldn't spend $100 billion. Do they $100 million?
No. Netflix spent like billions of dollars in content last year.
That's crazy. I wouldn't know what to do with $1 billion.
Look, even if you're making like $250 million, just like give up 100 million of it. Do you know how much that would help everyone else?
We say this all the time, right? The rich get richer, and the poor get poorer. And it's weird to think that working actors could be considered poor. You think a celebrity on TV, somebody you've seen on a sitcom over a recurring character or whatever, like, oh, they've made it.
Yeah.
You're on a TV show, you've made it. No, you actually can't go to the dentist.
Yeah. And they were even talking about award shows. They're like, you have to put down like $1,000 like deposit.
You do?
Yeah. Just to rent the dresses and stuff. It costs a lot of money. It's not just like some glamorous thing you do. Like
they send trunks of gowns over and millions of dollars
again
of
to maybe Julia Roberts, but not to everyone else.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah, I even had a couple of studios reach out to me to try to plug their movies. Yeah, and I'm like, please don't forget about me later, but I can't.
And that's the thing too, is like as content creators, we're in that kind of gray area where I'm not an actor, but I also don't want to fuck myself in the future if there's anything I ever wanted to do.
But even that, I don't want to fuck over other people. You know what I mean? Because that helps them not get what they need. Right. You know what I mean? The studios will just be like, yeah, we don't need you. We'll just use AI and these content creators. And it's no.
Right. So you do need people.
Yeah. Obviously, so respectfully, no.
No thanks.
Yeah.
But
respectfully, fuck you.
Call me when the strike's over.
Yeah. Don't forget to call me.
What have you been asked to promote movies?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I was like, where were you guys 3 months ago? Where?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But speaking of assholes.
Were we speaking of assholes?
Yeah. The CEOs.
Got it.
The CEO souls.
Yes, CEO souls.
The laughing is making me hotter.
Same.
Speaking of assholes, we have this amazing article that was written ironically by BuzzFeed.
Okay.
They asked, a couple of months ago, they asked people to write in with Asian dating stories.
It's always a fun time.
Yeah. And I was reading it and I was like, these are hilariously offensive or just hilarious or just offensive,
Yeah, right.
So I was like, we should read these. So that's what we're doing.
More than 150 people share their stories. And these are going to be just a few of them.
This is the top 17.
I haven't really read any of them, so these are going to be new to me.
And this is actually titled 17 Asians share the most messed up way a non-Asian person has hit on them, and I'm actually gagging. That's part of the title. The first story we have is, I'm Chinese and I was born and raised in Canada. A few years ago, I reconnected with an old classmate from high school. Initially, we seemed to hit it off until he told me he only wanted to date Asian.
Such a red flag. Oh my God.
If something doesn't scream fetish louder than that, I don't know. Yeah.
God.
His reasoning was, and I quote, Asian women are slim, hot, and look young for a really long time. Women from my culture are hot, but they get fat and ugly real quick. No wonder this guy was single.
Oh my God. That is so fucking offensive.
That is so offensive.
It's offensive to everybody.
It
and
is
also,
offensive.
who the fuck are you that you think you're oh God. God, now I'm
So he's not only racist, but he's also highly misogynistic and fatphobic.
Yeah. He's a real winner, guys. Real winner. I'm sure somebody scooped him up right away.
Imagine hearing or watching or reading this and being like, I think that's my husband. She also added a quick side note. She wrote, I've also come across a lot of guys commenting on my eyes. One man told me that I was pretty despite having Chinese eyes and that my eyes were big for someone who's Chinese. Remember, these are supposed to be being hit on.
Right.
Yeah. The latter is usually followed up with, can you see better with those eyes?
I've had to explain this to multiple people who've asked me in earnest, like, can you see like everything? I'm like, I mean, I've only ever seen through my own eyes, but from what I know, I can see everything you can see. Why? Because I see through the center of my eye, which is fully exposed, which is exactly where you see from.
Everyone sees from their the
pupil. Yeah, that's science. That's physiology. Like, if you don't know that, maybe look that up first and then ask me. Like, you fucking idiot. Like, God, take a fucking health class, you moron.
Yeah. Or like pay attention when you had health class, because we all had it.
I'm going to read this. Shout out to the one man who tried. We should do the Kama Sutra upon learning that I'm half Indian. That's so fucking gross. Like, you want to just meet me and then proposition me to do the Kama Sutra? You don't even fucking know me. And like, I've had men say the things like that. Like, is there a Korean version of the Kama Sutra? Oh, yes. And I'm like,
that's so.
I don't think so. And or they say like, have you ever been to like a massage parlor or to like those Korean like spas or whatever? And I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to entertain that question. I'm not even going to entertain that question. I know where
my favorite move is to just ignore the person like they don't exist.
Ugh. Oh my God.
Here we go.
No.
I'm Filipino. Once I went on a few dates with a guy who kept giving me names like wonton and lo mein.
We're only laughing because it's so disgusting and offensive and absurd.
Yeah. Side note, our producer Ron.
Yeah.
His name is Ron, right? Well, in college, a lot of people called him Ronton.
That's so racist, Ron. I hope you beat the shit out of all of them. God, I'm furious. I wish I didn't know that. I'm so mad. And now I'm like hot.
I'm sweaty from laughing so
mad. Oh no, I'm so sorry. We should have warned you for volume, but I didn't know what was happening. I'm so mad. Find them. I want to call them. I'm so offended.
He's speechless. I've never seen her stumble over words.
I'm so offended. I'm so mad.
And I feel like some of it probably had a little bit of an accent when they said it. One time.
You think so? Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Ooh, I'm sweaty.
In high school, I dated a guy who flirted by saying, "You're cute for an Asian." Once we ended up dating, he told me his grandmother would call me the J slur if we met.
What's the J slur?
Jab.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought. Okay.
He told me his grandmother would call me the J slur if we met. For context, I'm half Filipino. I'm not Japanese at all. When I questioned this, he said it's because I'm Asian. His mother also apologized for not having chopsticks when serving me rice.
I can't breathe. It's ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Also, like Susie said before, all the laughing for context in case there's any non-people of color out there trying to weaponize what they're
question.
Yeah. We're laughing from the sheer absurdity of offensiveness. And it's kind of a little cathartically therapeutic to hear other people's stories. So that's also that coming out as well. Just make that clear.
I'm sorry, I don't have chopsticks for you to eat your rice. First of all,
Asian people eat.
Filipinos don't even use chopsticks.
Yeah. Also, most Asian people eat rice with a spoon.
We have
not
spoons.
A fork.
Oh my God.
Also, I had a coworker at my last job tell me that I'm cute for an Asian.
Oh, I get all the time.
And other people that were in the room when she said it reported her to our boss.
Good.
Yeah. Because I wasn't going to do it.
Why?
Because, you don't ever want to make waves, but other people did. And I was like, thank you. Thank you. That's what allies do.
Get a surfboard and make waves, okay?
One guy told me that he preferred to date Asian guys because we were less attractive and therefore less likely to cheat. He also had a few racial slurs directed against Muslims that I had never heard before. Thankfully, it was a first and last date, so no time was wasted.
I am so insecure. I want to date somebody that I don't think is capable of cheating on me. Like, how about you be cool and great, and then I won't want to cheat on you because you're cool and great.
Yeah.
Instead, you're a fucking racist that's so insecure, it's gross.
Also, if K-dramas are true, Korean men cheat all the time.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, like all the time.
And also, your level of hotness will never indicate whether or not you get cheated on. That's just...
It's true.
It has nothing to do with it. Like, Brad Pitt cheated on Angelina Jolie, speaking of them again. But like...
Some people... I mean... cheating stems from insecurity and has nothing to do with your attractiveness level. You know what I mean?
He also didn't say, and I also won't cheat. Right?
True.
He didn't say anything about what he was going to do.
Yeah.
Oh my God. One time a guy told me that though I'm Pakistani, I also look Latina, so black guys would be into me. Wow.
What?
He fully believed black men have a fetish for Latina women and would therefore be really into Pakistani women. Gross. I'm originally from Pakistan and live in the Midwest. Many times people assume I'm Indian or Middle Eastern. Then they repeatedly call me ethnic. For example, my hairstylist calls my hair ethnic hair. And someone at work calls Pakistani food ethnic food without really knowing what that even means. Once, one of my friends went on a blind date and the guy actually told her to not come to the date wearing her curry cooking clothes. I don't know if I can keep doing this. I'm like,
that is the stupidest collection of words I've ever read in section from each other. That
can't be what that says.
Curry cooking clothes? That's the dumbest thing ever.
Curry cooking clothes. Oh my God. What the fuck is wrong with people?
That is straight up the most asinine thing
I don't know if it's like the heat, but I like want to punch something really hard.
Whew, you can punch all the balls you want later when you play volleyball.
Literally, it's so wow.
That was the three most asinine connection of words in succession.
And also, let's not gloss over the you look Latina, so black guys will be into you. Like weird. That is, I've had people tell me that. Like, I'm an Asian woman with a big butt, and people have told me, like, oh, black guys will be super into you. And I'm like, that is really gross for so many reasons that you would say something like that to me. And, like, first of all, you've completely objectified me.
Yeah, why do you have to sexualize my butt?
You've stereotyped black men. Like, what is this sentence even?
Yeah, that is gross.
I really hate it.
Because, like, I'm not black, and I love big butts. I cannot lie. Curry cooking clothes. I'm sorry, I can't. That's the dumbest thing I've ever read. Okay, here we go. Numero 7. During my first year of college, a guy who worked at the dining hall and was not Asian struck up a conversation with me saying, "Hi, how are you doing today?" I responded, "Good. How are you?" He went, "Oh, so you do speak English. Japanese, Chinese, or Korean?" I'm guessing Chinese. I love the country, especially the people. I proceeded to walk faster and further away.
Very good call.
I hate that question.
I hate that so much. I hate that. I hate when they phrase it like it's a game show.
Yeah.
Like spin the wheel.
Guess your ethnicity.
Right, exactly. Come on down. And here are your categories. Boop, boop, beep, boop, boop. Chinese, Japanese, Korean, or Vietnamese. Like
Asian number 1. What is he?
Right, exactly. Say this sentence like, I eat rice with chopsticks.
It used to trigger me a lot because when we were younger, it would just be, are you Chinese or Japanese?
Yeah.
So that's
Korean wasn't even.
It wasn't even a thing. But as you get older, you realize it's offensive for other reasons because
Right.
We don't play guess your ethnicity with other people. Else.
Are you German, French, Norwegian?
No, not even the are you. German, French, Norwegian, English.
I'm guessing Norwegian. You're Norwegian. I knew it. Like,
yeah.
I love, what is the fish they eat in Norway? It's like fermented fish. Anyway, I digress. Oh, you're French. I love baguettes.
Yeah. Your smell says French.
Don't wear your baguette baking clothes on our date.
Yeah. Your eyes scream French. Like, what do any of those mean? Like, that doesn't mean anything.
Your hair's so blonde. Your ethnic hair is so blonde.
Oh my God. English or Norwegian?
I've had many guys ask me early on in conversation, no, I don't even know if I can say this. Are you feather Indian or the dot Indian when they find out I'm Indian? They also say things like, oh, wow, that's so exotic, which is crazy because there are literally billions of us.
I didn't even understand what a feather Indian was until a second later. I was like, oh, I thought it like had a connection to like skin tone or something, you know?
Again, I know this is a podcast where I'm supposed to talk, but I like, can't.
Yeah.
That is so fucking offensive.
Well, it's like...
Also, they're not even called Indians anymore.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just like so uneducated. It's just not smart.
I'm so sorry to anyone who's ever had to hear that. Like, that is so fucking disgusting. I can't. Oh, my God. What is this you made me read today? Like, what is this?
Hi, Shibal.
Wow.
I'm Korean American, but I'm adopted. My parents are basically the whitest you can be. Once I was chatting with a guy on Plenty of Fish. Oof. Instant regret.
Is that a dating site?
Yeah, app. Who tried to guess what I was. When I told him that I'm Korean, he said I would have said Filipino. Close enough. She wrote LOL, not LOL. Okay. He also asked if my house smelled like seaweed and said that Asian girls are the best because they're so small everywhere, which means tight, but able to take. Gross. I can't. I had a hard time even reading it out loud. Do people like this really exist? Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, they do. And I think maybe I feel so triggered because I've like heard variations of all of these things. And I'm so glad that I'm not single and that I've been married to the same man for almost 13 years because you get further away from it and you start to kind of fades off into the distance. But then once I start reading things like this.
Remember how I told you I had anxiety about dating again? Yeah. It just got worse.
Yeah.
It just got so much worse.
I went out with a guy and he said, you're really, really, I'm tall. I'm like 5'7.5", almost 5'8". He's like, oh my God, you're so tall for an Asian woman. I'm like, yeah. He's like, I usually prefer them smaller. And I was like, I usually prefer my dates less disgusting.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah.
I usually prefer them smaller. Like, we're not talking about like earrings. Like what?
Or like shoes or like a jacket.
What? I was like so appalled. And I was like, you're right. We're not a good match.
Yeah. This is not
going to work.
Yeah.
This is not a love connection at all. And I don't plan on shrinking anytime soon. And
I think we're a perfect match and we should go get tattoos. You go first. It's going to be written in Korean and it's going to say, Shibar Sekiya. Yeah.
죽을래? Wow. That's
Oh God, this next one.
A guy and I met for a first date. When we started walking, he said he'd always wanted to try Chinese. Oh God. I suggested we go to this new Chinese restaurant that a friend had recommended. He looked at me oddly until I realized what he meant. Here are some of the more memorable chat up lines for wrong reasons that I get. What? Okay, got it. Me love you long time and me so horny. Both are from the movie featuring Vietnamese sex worker and Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket. We all are familiar with that one. Mm-hmm. Hey, China doll. Everybody is I can't do this. Everybody is kung fu fighting, but you and me, let's do kung fu fucking. 3, are you Thai? I love Thai girls. Oh, God. And when I tell them I'm British Japanese, I love anime girls. It's
insert bulging anime vein right here.
It's getting worse and worse as the temperature rises.
Does it get worse than curry cooking class?
I can't. Kung fu fucking?
Kung fu fucking was pretty stupid. You're right. That does demonstrate.
Kung fu fucking is just surpassed curry cooking close for the number one worst thing I've heard.
But the best part is, that person thought they were being so witty.
Clever. You're so clever. Everybody was kung fu fucking. What does that mean? Like, I kick you intermittently in the face?
In the dick.
Yeah. I kick your balls through the roof of your mouth while we're fucking. Like, what are you talking about? Oh my God.
Whew.
Was everybody kung fu fucking? Wow.
Uh-oh.
No, I can't. I just saw the first few words and I can't. Look at it. I'm so angry.
I think I'm having a break, like a
psychotic.
Yeah. My blind date showed up in a Chinese dragon shirt. You know it was made out of silk. It was
rayon, polyester, made to look like silk. A Chinese dragon shirt. Oh my God.
Wait, that's not the whole sentence. The second part of the sentence is, took me to a Korean barbecue place and talked about anime the whole time. The trifecta of East Asia. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
He then asked me if I wanted to go to his place to see his samurai sword collection. Why did it even get there? I would have ran away so fast. I think this was more funny than anything because it was as though he didn't know what kind of Asian I was and wanted to go.
Literally.
His basis.
No, literally. I'm going to wear a Chinese shirt. We'll go to Korean barbecue. I'll show her my Japanese sword.
I think that's giving him too much credit.
He probably thinks it's all the same fucking thing.
I think he doesn't realize the difference.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that sentence, it does get stupider and stupider.
I feel like
we went from curry cooking clothes to kung fu fucking to Chinese dragon shirt, Korean barbecue anime. Samurai swords.
I'm Chinese and speak very poor Cantonese. I'm also used to folks being open about kinks or preferences in the gay community. However, a man once asked me to talk dirty in Cantonese. He didn't know the language either. And said he'd like me to tie him with ropes while I'm dressed in a kimono. Oh God. Oh my God, that just unlocked.
Oh my God.
A memory.
I'm so scared.
I had a boyfriend that gave me a kimono once.
A boyfriend?
A white guy. He was my boyfriend.
So you ignored
dating. He was not my boyfriend.
You ignored all the red flags.
No.
Then.
Oh my God. Oh my God. He gave it to me and he was so proud. He was like, I bought you something, and I opened it and it was this like silky pink kimono that had like embroidered, like, I don't think it was like a red crane or something on the back. And I was like, what is this? He's like, it's a kimono.
Oh, so it wasn't even a traditional kimono.
No.
It was I
don't even know what it was.
Fetishized version.
Yes. It was like a short one. I'm sorry. It was not like a traditional kimono. It was a kimono robe. I should have specified. It didn't even cover my butt. And I was like, first of all, this is the shirt.
Wait, you tried it on? Oh my God.
I was so caught off guard, and I was like,
didn't know what to do.
I was like, it doesn't fit me. It's too short. It's too small. He's like, no, that's not supposed to be. Hold on. The memory.
So the gift for you was for memory.
Him. Yes, of course. It's a very foggy memory. This is probably like more than 20 years ago. I was like maybe 22 years old. 23? Hold on.
So like right around the time that Memoirs of a Geisha came out?
Culver City apartment. Oh, God.
That's like right around the time Memoirs of a Geisha came out.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Ew, God. Like, this is really unlocking a lot of fucking trauma that I thought I'd worked through, but I guess not.
Ew. Oh, here we go.
Oh, no.
I'm Indian. So I've heard every curry or forehead dot related insult in the world. One that really stands out to me, though, so it's worse than that. Okay, here we go. Is when I was a freshman in college, some guy told me, I want to hook up with you because I have a checklist for my fraternity that I need to finish. And hooking up with an Indian girl is on it, and I've never done that before.
Oh, my God.
She ended it with, ew.
Ew.
Ugh. Oh, that's gross. I mean, outside of just the weird racial thing, what woman wants to hear that, you think?
Right.
You
I have
dumb
to have sex with you because I have to finish this checklist.
Yeah, so you literally aren't a person. You're this thing I have to check off.
You're literally like a notch on the bedpost.
Yeah.
Wow. An ex once said to me, I would never date you if you weren't half white. And every single time I had heavy eye makeup on, he'd also tell me, I can't even tell you're Korean right now, babe. You're beautiful. He also didn't even bother to learn my middle name because it's Korean. We dated for 6 years.
That's kind of on you.
Girl.
That's kind of on you. A little bit on you.
After
like at least 30%.
I dated a guy who fetishized everything about my mom.
Oh, yeah. That's like a lot on you.
Korean and the culture. I'm not sure which is worse.
Oh, there were two different guys.
Yeah. I'm only speaking on serious relationships because strangers say the cringiest things about this all the time.
Okay, not to victim blame, but sounds like you have a problem ignoring red flags.
I can't even tell you're Korean. You look beautiful. Like, what?
And then you dated a guy that fetishized your mom. Ew. Ew. I know the joke euphemism, like look at the mom to see how she's gonna like age or whatever.
Can you not?
But like that's gross.
Fetishize? Oh God.
Ew, that's so nasty.
I really, I talk about this all the time. I hate that people, before I even had children, were like, oh my gosh, when you and your husband have babies, they're gonna be so beautiful. Mixed children are so beautiful. And like, obviously, yes, my children are so beautiful, but the idea that like the only way to make sure that I had beautiful children was to dilute who they were in order for them to be considered beautiful, I found so offensive. And like, especially now knowing that my daughters who look so different from each other, one looks far more white than the other, this idea that like, because my older daughter looks more mixed or looks on the whiter side of her mix, that she's more beautiful, it infuriates me so much. And like,
not to some of the men on this list.
Yeah, gross. I mean, like it's really, really pisses me off.
Yeah, that's really gross.
Did you read that or did I? I can't even know.
I'll read the next. Okay. Oof. Okay. Speaking of which, I'm half Korean, half white. I grew up in a mostly white and rural area. Like, who is that word for? Rural area. It's so hard to say.
Try saying rural world.
Rural.
You know that somebody's going to cut that clip and be like, they don't even speak English.
I was trying to sound like Scooby-Doo.
It was good.
A rural area. So I was no stranger to guys saying I was their first. Oh God, I hate hearing that. Which is offensive enough. However, one guy literally told me, I like that you're only half Asian. Yep. It's just enough to get my toes wet and see if I like it.
Oh my God.
I was too stunned to really go on how horrible of a thing that was to say. And looking back, it still shocks me that anyone found that to be an acceptable thing to say. Yeah, that's crazy. It's just enough to get my toes wet? What is this?
That's so gross. That's so gross. Like, I'm not a hobby.
Or a pool. Are you talking about the vagina? I don't know what's happening. Like, what's happening?
I sure want to sign up for this lawn bowling club, but I don't know if I like it. I'm just going to take one first class and get my toes wet. Like, it's not a fucking hobby.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. Get your toes wet. Like, anyway.
So you don't see people as people.
No.
So you think people of different races are different? Like, okay, sure. There's some cultural differences, but this is the weirdest thing. I think all these people are the ones who believe the sideways vagina myth.
Oh, yeah, probably. I was freshly out of a long-term relationship and decided to give Tinder a shot. My first match told me that he never used to be into Asian girls, but the military branch, showed him that we Asians can be obedient and wild at the same time. He then proceeded to tell me more about the stereotype and his sexual adventures.
I would have been like, and you're not getting in this Asian girl either.
The whole obedience thing, like you want to talk about triggers, I am so fucking triggered by that.
Do you know, reading all of these stories, I keep feeling bad for the people that these people had sex with before or dated before.
Right, for sure.
Like his sexual adventures, like I feel bad for whoever he's referencing. Did they know?
I'm not hang gliding. I'm not an adventure sport. Like I'm not
also
parachuting.
Like women or races of people aren't animals that you train. Oh, I mean, yes, God. There is a sub dom kink, and we're not kink shaming, but like he's not talking about kinks.
He's not talking about that.
He has a forever kink where Asian people are inferior. That's not a kink. That's called racism.
Is this the last one? Because I don't think I can do many more of these, Edward.
Number 17. I was once told on a second date, dating has been rough. My dad told me to just start dating Asian women instead of American women because they won't argue with you and do what they're told. I almost choked on my wine. I then informed him that 1, I am American, Asian American, born and raised in the U.S. 2, I'm not a shrinking violet just because I'm Asian. And 3, both he and his dad need to stop watching so many stereotypical Asian movies. I then grabbed my purse and walked out of the restaurant.
As you should.
Good for you.
God damn it.
You should have spit that wine out on his face first.
You should start dating Asian women instead of American women. Like that sentence alone is like the idea that people don't understand that we can be both. We are both. That concept, like it really only escapes them when it comes to Asian people. Or that obviously my experiences, but why can't people connect that? That like we're both. I'm both of those things. Like why can't I inherently just not be American?
Also, like, what is this insinuation? Like, hey, dating women is tough. So, like, get your feet wet with, like, these bottom level women first who are Asian? Because I don't understand. I don't
so that was fun, Ed. Thanks for that. That was fun. That was awesome. I'm not just in a blind rage right now, just pouring sweat, and I can't discern why I'm so hot.
Well, we probably lost at least 300 calories.
Are we doing hip hop
now? Doing stretch dance.
I was like, what are we doing?
I don't know. It was the lamest whacking I've ever seen in life. But
wow, that was a real ride. I feel completely depleted.
Inappropriate word to use. But
I feel depleted right now. I want to smoke a cigarette. I don't smoke cigarettes.
But it is true. That was gag worthy because it was cringy.
You know, my husband was telling me that his best friend is married to a black woman, and he is not black himself. He's white. And they were on a trip, and I guess they were on this like party bus, and there's this woman that they're kind of friendly with. They're not like, I don't know that they're close friends, but I guess they were playing like rap music, and the rap music contained the N-word, and this white woman was just very freely singing along and saying the N-word like in front of his black wife. And I was talking to my husband about it. I was explaining to him, I was like, I just don't think you really understand not just like the level of like how like disgusting it is, but the frequency with which these things happen. Like these things happen all the time. And like sometimes they are very overt, like her saying the N-word, where everybody can very objectively say like that is offensive and you shouldn't be doing that. But then you see something like this and it's like these things to so many people are like, is that a problem? Why is that a thing? Like, I don't understand why people get upset about that. He's just saying he's never dated an Asian person before and that he just wants to explore different realms of dating. It's like, no, the reason is because on that spectrum of offensiveness, so many people don't know why it's offensive because they've never experienced it and have no idea how easy it is to detect it when you're the one experiencing it if it's not as overt. But somebody's saying like, oh, I hear that Asian women are just really obedient. Like some people would say, well, it's kind of true, so it's not offensive. It's, a stereotype because it's kind of true. And it's like, why does something have to be so overt in order for people to take it seriously? And that was this very long conversation
also,
I had with my husband.
Is it obedience or is it just like culturally it's just respect?
Or is it just this overblown stereotype, that has been used to fetishize Asian women?
Yeah.
It's a combination of all of those.
Yeah.
It's all of them. Mm-hmm. So because we have different cultural norms, some people who are outside of that culture detect that as like, oh, she's obedient and submissive. No, I just hand my dad his food with two hands because culturally that's what we do. Just like, my, cousin does that for me. You know what I mean? Whatever. So people will take whatever parts of that culture or whatever parts of, whatever race or ethnicity it is they're talking about, cherry pick it, say it's something that it is or isn't, and then use it for their benefit in some way. And it's like, why people like in the year 2023 cannot discern these things at this point is purely, it's intentional and it's obtuse. It's like you could understand. You've just clearly chosen not to.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where like I also think that it's like syntax. They're using the wrong word.
Right.
You're not talking about obedience. You're talking about oppression.
Right.
You're not looking to have an obedient woman. You're
Right.
looking to oppress someone so that you can be superior.
Which then plays into misogyny and patriarchy and all of these
racial
other
dynamics
things.
and everything.
Exactly. All of those things. You just don't know how to understand it, or you choose not to understand it. So you've painted it as something else.
You don't have the wherewithal to understand the nuances of what's happening. But in that story that you just told, I have a question. How was she able to say it multiple times? Nobody stopped her?
I don't know.
Husband, the friends. See, in that situation, I think everybody is fucking culpable.
I tend to agree.
You know what I mean? It's that whole bystander effect. It's like, so you don't want to feel uncomfortable causing a scene, but you think the person who's being oppressed, they should feel uncomfortable.
They should endure the discomfort.
So even just in that dynamic alone, there is a power dynamic and a societal structure that you're not understanding what is happening. By staying, that's why they say silence is violence. You're allowing it to happen.
Right.
Sure, you might not be this culpable, but you're this culpable. There's barely a difference.
Right.
You're allowing it to happen.
Right. I totally agree.
She shouldn't have only been able to say it once. Someone should have pulled her aside. And when she said it again, she should have gone.
Somebody should have knocked her the fuck out.
Well, I was going to say the second time she should have been physically kicked off the bus.
I'm sorry. You don't get to be a 40-plus-year-old woman.
Yeah. I mean, I agree.
And now we know why I wasn't invited on this trip. I'm guessing.
We know that. But like, if you were even to give her some grace, you know what I mean?
That doesn't deserve grace.
I agree.
Sorry. There's a time and a place for grace, and that's not fucking it. And I don't know that his wife even heard her, to be honest. I think that he did and was just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do because you know what I mean? So I don't know.
You tell her to shut the fuck up.
I don't know what happened because we started the
and I say give
diverted.
Grace, knowing that I've never given grace to someone who did. I just flipped out. I go, fuck, you can't. What are you
fucking
doing?
Serious? Did you just fucking say that? Like I would, dude, yesterday I was at the mall with my daughters and we're shopping and I see this very tall white man with his very small Asian girlfriend or wife. I don't know. And I can hear, like, we're looking at like the directory, we're looking for something and I can hear their conversation getting louder and louder. And I turn around and I look and my two girls are standing like this and I look and he's now screaming at her with his finger in his face. I fucking like pointing at her like super aggressively. Like, and I'm worried that this is going to start getting violent. But in that moment, I have to ask myself, I'm just by myself. I have my children with me. I can't go crazy. And my daughter goes, what are you looking at? And I said very loudly, I said, I'm watching this man abuse his wife in public. And he looked at me and I looked at him and I was like, I fucking see you. And my daughter's like,
yeah, so does everyone else. You're in public.
Yeah. And my daughter goes, who do you fucking see? I'm like talking, she's like right here. And I'm like this. She's like, what do you fucking see?
Yeah, like, what's happening?
And he looks at me and he recoils. And I'm like, if you do this to her in public, what the fuck are you? And in that moment, I was very much aware of like what I was doing and what I was modeling for my daughters. Because number one, don't ever let a fucking man talk to you like that.
Yeah.
Don't ever let him do that to you in public. Get your fucking finger out of my fucking face. I'm your wife or your girlfriend and you're going to disrespect me like this? No fucking way. And also, we're not going to be bystanders and we're not going to not let him know that I see exactly what the fuck is going on. Now, I'm not going to physically insert myself because that's dangerous. But I'm also not going to just sit there and be like, oh my God, that man's like, no. The days of just watching and walking away, I think should be over for all of us. Obviously, don't put yourself in a dangerous situation.
No.
But I'm in a crowded mall. There are people around, and I'm going to let him fucking know. I fucking see you. What are you doing? And I was like looking at this woman and I told my daughters, I was like, Daddy and Mommy do not have a perfect relationship and we have to work very, very hard because marriage is difficult. But one thing your father would never do is this. And you never tolerate this from anybody. And they were like, okay.
Like, okay, Mom, can we go shopping now?
So can we go get the boba or no?
Like, are we getting Cinnabons or not? Like, what's happening?
I was like, yes, we can go get the Cinnabon, but just remember that. And they're like, okay. But these are the things that we have to like ingrain in people. Like, you don't take that shit. You don't let other people take that shit. Like, that's not okay. It's not fucking okay. I was so mad. But then that reminds me, I'm talking too much, but then there was this other thing that happened at Cinnabon.
Oh no! I triggered a memory.
No, this is the same day.
No. But I mean, like,
this is a good one. I walk up to Cinnabon and I had this like pineapple drink that I got from this other place. I walk up and she goes, "Oh my God, I know you from TikTok." And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." She's like, "I love you." She's like, "You're Suchi." I was like, "Yeah." I got 15% off my Cinnabon.
Oh, nice.
So I'll just end on something light. And my daughters were like, oh, that was pretty cool. I was like, see, Mommy's cool.
Yeah, I did that at a Ralph's once. There was this woman who in the yogurt milk section, the doors that open out?
Yeah.
The refrigerator, she just had it open and then she would step back like 7 feet and just stare at it.
Opened?
Yeah. And
Does
then
that
like
make it all foggy? Like all the other windows get foggy.
Yeah. But it's just like,
what are you doing?
Yeah, like you're letting, like all that stuff's going to go bad. Yeah, it's like, so I walked by at first. I didn't see her, so I just closed it because, people leave it open, accident all the time. And, just, I feel like it's the right thing to do. She like this, and then all of a sudden I hear someone go, I had that open. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. You're like literally 8 feet away from the door. I didn't even realize you were even there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you doing? I thought you were
looking at cereal down in the other.
Yeah. So I was just like, yeah, whatever. And I just left. Well, ADHD shopper, I have to like go back and then go back. So like 10 minutes later, I had to go back to grab something I forgot and she's still there. And I see her because like now I'm coming down the aisle the other way and she's like in my line of view. So like I see that she's standing, it's open again. And this like small little Asian woman walks by and she yells at her. And then this like black woman, she's a white woman. The black woman walks by and she like freaks out at all of them. And I just literally lost it. I was like, I'm sorry. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
She's like, that's what it was. She yelled at the one person. She's like, I'm trying to work. And I went up to her. I was like, I'm sorry. You're working and you find it appropriate to treat customers, the ones that keep you have a job from doing this. She's like, I'm like this third party and like I'm paid to. I was like, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. I was like, let me ask you this question. I recorded you doing that. If I sent that to your boss, you're going to get fired or no?
Right.
And she goes, and I was like, exactly.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Also, the people that you're screaming at, third party or not, still help pay your bills.
Yeah.
That's irrelevant.
Yes. It was mind blowing to me. I was like, you do this while you're on the job? I was like, what kind of crazy privilege is that? Yeah. You think you're not going to get fired? I was like, girl. And then I went home and I was like, going to make a video. And I was like, fuck it. I think I already scared, you know what I mean? So speaking of which, we have a listener write-in idea for you all.
Please write in. These are our favorite kinds of episodes. They're my absolute favorite.
We are.
Maybe not Ron's because he has to read them all, but whatever. Sorry, Ron.
It's your job.
Too bad, so sad.
So we have thought up it's not like we invented it, but
of course.
we wanted to do Would I Be the Assholes with you all.
Which is more of a preventative measure than it is like after the fact, which I think could actually be very helpful.
Yeah. So if you have any ideas of something that might happen or you want to do.
Potential future scenarios, things that are maybe, things that you think about, like, oh, is this okay? Or what if somebody did this? Would that be all right? Like these scenarios, I think are really
like somebody said something to me at work. Should I have freaked out on them? Would I have been an asshole? Like whatever it is.
Or even something hypothetical.
Yeah. Or maybe it already happened.
Yeah.
Just fuck it. Write it in.
We want to know.
For instance, we have an example for you. Would I be the asshole if I gave my half Chinese friend chopsticks for his birthday?
Yes.
Yes.
Stop.
We don't even have to get into the details. I mean, we will, but it's very obvious you are an asshole. Yeah, the end. End scene, fade to black.
It's going to be a very short episode.
Here we go. As if any of us needed to hear the rest, but he is half Chinese, half Irish. And his family regularly gets Chinese food for takeout and goes to Chinatown. That was the most asinine observations I've ever heard. He has gotten me several small gifts from Chinatown. He is a huge Star Wars fan. He's seen all the movies, shows, played the games, read the books. When I was looking for something to get him, these light up chopsticks that look like lightsabers came up and I thought he might like them. Would that be racist?
Okay, wait. I didn't know the lightsaber thing. Because at least that ties into something else that has nothing to do with him being Chinese. It has everything to do with he eats with chopsticks. And he also loves Star Wars. So that might actually dissuade me from a hard yes.
Yeah, I'm like kind of on the middle of the line right now too.
That little caveat at the end was very important. Mm-hmm. Now, if you just went out and bought him some fucking regular old chopsticks, I'd be like, no.
At first, I was reading the Star Wars thing and I was like, sounds like you could just buy him Star Wars stuff.
Right.
I was like, you're an idiot.
This is Star Wars stuff tied into the fact that he is Chinese, which maybe makes it less offensive. I'm going to give it a pass. I was not going to. And I'm surprising even myself.
I mean, with my intro, it was very obvious that I thought it was going to be racist.
I think it's okay. I think it's actually a very thoughtful, cute gift because it ties into two very important parts of his life, but it does not make him one-dimensional to you.
It's true.
Okay.
It is a thought out gift. It is. I mean, they go on to ask, would it be racist? Could it be taken that way? I don't mean it that way. I honestly think he'll be good, get use out of him, but I don't want to come off racist or anything. And I agree.
Okay. So this is a good example.
Yeah.
So send us these examples. We want to know these scenarios so that we can talk about them. And you never know. We could surprise you.
Yeah.
What we say. Where did we send it, Ed?
We'll be the Maury's of racial and moral ambiguity. You are not the racist.
You are the racist.
The results say you are a racist.
You are the insensitive friend.
So please write us all of your questions, your experiences of being an asshole, being the victim of an asshole, whatever it is.
To be an asshole.
Yeah, not wanting to be an asshole, theoretically, to whatintheshibal@gmail.com. Da-ding! That's whatintheshibal@gmail.com. On that note, we do want to thank you for joining us. Make sure you follow us on our socials.
You can follow me at Sujio1 on TikTok and Instagram.
And you can find me at Etch-a-Sketch with a J. And you can find our podcast at What in the Shibal. Shibal! I don't know why I had urgent need to do that.
What else?
If you watch us on YouTube, please make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Otherwise, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye!
Okay, I gotta go.
Whew, let me just pick up myself off this floor.
So sweaty.
I hope the mics pick that up because that's gonna make a funny outro. Ring-a-ling, that ding-a-ling. Why do I keep saying that? I get it rhymes, but it sounds so creepy.